So if you're like me, when you wake up, it is still dark outside. The house is eerily quiet. The cat is licking your head, asking for her breakfast. The dog is wagging his tail, eagerly awaiting his food. Your husband is still snoozing in his bed. Your kids are still tucked snugly in their blankies, and you are awake because you need to get the lunches together, feed the animals, get dressed, get all the babies dressed, get breakfast made, get the hair done, everyone's hair done.
It's a little bit poofier than I would normally do, but I'm nervous.
Get the car packed up. You are the mother.
Get off the table.
You are in charge of all those things, but you also are a woman and you want to feel a little bit more feminine, a little bit more put together, a little bit more confident. If that is you, then this video is for you. This is my quick, everyday, 10-minute natural makeup that is appropriate for work, for school, for everyday life, but this is really what I wear every day to work. This video is to show you that if you target the areas that you need targeted, that you want targeted, you can cut out some other steps and still come out with a really great makeup look. So this is a look that I created. It's very customizable, and I go through how to recognize the areas that you want to enhance or maybe conceal a little bit. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely keep on watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so because I'm usually pressed for time in the mornings, I like to go in with as few steps as possible. So whatever is the most important to you, those are the steps that you should focus on. So for me, I really need my brows to be done. I love having a lip color, and I definitely need something to even out the skin tone, especially under my eyes. So I usually go in with brows, foundation, concealer, and a lip, and usually blush too, just so I don't look so dead, and that's it. I will cut out bronzer and highlight because I feel like I don't necessarily need those on an everyday basis. And I'll also cut out eyeshadow, obviously. So wherever you feel like you can cut corners, that's where you should cut corners. Wherever you feel like you really need those areas to be covered, just so you can feel a little bit more confident, those are the areas that you should focus on if you don't have too much time. So every morning before work, I wash my face, apply my moisturizer and SPF, and then because I don't have a lot of time, I'm not going to go in with a separate primer and foundation product. So I like to go in with my, excuse me, my voice. I'm just getting over a cold, so bear with me, but I like to go in with my Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector. I love this because it really smooths out the skin, it evens out your skin tone, and it looks really natural. Also, it minimizes the appearance of pores, and it doesn't sink into fine lines or wrinkles at all, even after 8 hours of wear. So this is one of my go-to products because it just looks like skin, but more smooth and even, and it doesn't give you those like normal foundation problems that can make you look a little bit older by sinking into your lines and stuff. So I'm going in with the shade Light because I'm a little bit fairer right now. I feel like this product is going to be something that you either love or hate. It's very, very thick, and it has that dimethicone like feeling, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I actually really like. One of the first makeup products I ever fell in love with was the Benefit Porefessional, and it has a similar like, velvety type texture to this. So everyone has different concerns. I have a couple blemishes here and there, but for the most part I'm very blessed to have overall pretty clear skin, but I do have very large pores around this area and a lot of redness. So my two biggest concerns are minimizing the look of my pores and correcting my redness. So that's why I choose this product. You know, you can choose whatever product you feel the most confident in. If you do have a lot to cover, you can use something a little bit more full coverage. But for me, on an everyday basis, I don't feel like I need a full coverage foundation. So I just quickly apply this with my fingers. It spreads out really easily. It's like a no-fuss product. Okay, the next essential step for me is concealer. I am usually pretty tired. I'm a mom, I've got a lot of housework, I've got a job, so I get some darkness under my eyes, and I just like to correct that. I don't like to go in with something too full coverage or too heavy, just because of my skin type. So again, think about what works for you. If you have very, very oily skin, maybe going with something a little bit more matte and full coverage. For me, I tend to have more dehydrated and dry skin, so I like something a little bit more lightweight and hydrating under the eyes, and I also I don't mind if there's a little bit of darkness peeking through because I'm just going for a more natural, subtly corrected look. I'm not going for something like totally airbrushed, which there's a time and a place for that, for events and for special occasions and just for fun. I do love a full coverage concealer, but for every day I feel like I don't necessarily need it. So I go in with something very sheer or lightweight that's just going to give me a little bit of hydration and a little bit of color correcting. So for that, I love the Makeup Revolution Eye Bright Concealers. These are so good. They literally look like nothing under your eyes. They don't crease, and they just give your under eyes a very plump and youthful appearance and do help correct some of the darkness and discoloration, but it literally looks like you have nothing on. So I like to go in with two shades. I have Fair and Light, and just depending on what my skin tone is at the moment, I do self-tan sometimes, so I'll just kind of mix and match those two. And they have a little sponge applicator, which I actually like. I find it really easy in the morning to just draw it on. So this is the shade Fair. I just dot it around, and then I'm going to take a little bit of Light just to kind of mix it so it's not too bright under there. And I'm going to take a little bit over my nose because, again, I still have a little bit of redness peeking through my nose. That's my most red area. My nose just always wants to be Rudolph, so I have to be more cognizant of that and also apply a little bit more concealer, pay a little bit more attention, give it some more love. And with this concealer in specific, I like to let it sit a little bit just so I can get the most coverage out of it. And while I do that, I go in with my brow pencil because, again, brows are super important for me. As you can see, I don't have a lot of brow hairs, so I really need to go in and fill in and just correct. So I'm going to go with my Maybelline brow pencil and just quickly fill those in. So if you have very full and fluffy brows, you might not need to do this step at all. Maybe you just want to go in with like a clear or tinted brow gel. That's totally cool. I feel like brows, though, make a very big difference. So if you don't have a lot of brow hairs, I would definitely recommend filling them in. Sometimes for more glam looks, I will outline my brows, carve them out, fill them in with powder. But for everyday basis, when I'm in a rush, I usually just take a pencil and just quickly fill them in as I'm doing. I want to get the general shape down and then just try to fill in any bald areas. Powders are really quick, and I sometimes like to use powders to fill in my brows. The only problem with powder that I find is that it's a little bit harder to be super precise with the shape. So for me, my tail, especially on this brow, is not very defined. I have to really extend this eyebrow, and I have to kind of draw the shape myself, and it's a little bit harder to do that with a powder. So again, just think about what you need. Do you just need it to look more volumized? Do you need more shape? And then go from there. If you need more shape, maybe go in with a pen or a pencil. If you need just a little bit more volume, maybe a tinted brow gel or a powder. And really customize this routine to fit your needs. You know, because makeup is not supposed to be like you have to change yourself to fit the makeup. Let the makeup work for you, you know? That's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so you can see I just roughly filled them in. They're not perfect, but they definitely look 10 times better. I have some shape to my face, a little bit of color, structure, way better. So I'm going to go ahead and blend out this concealer. And I'm also going to spot conceal and then blend everything out. I'm going in with my Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. This is a more full coverage, skin-like matte-ish concealer. Under my eyes, it's a little bit too heavy and too drying, but I really love it for spot concealing. So again, if you have more dry skin like me, but you do have some blemishes, maybe going with something a little bit more lightweight and hydrating under the eyes, and then use something a little bit more full coverage on the blemishes, so you don't have to go in with a very heavy base. So I just dot this around on any spots. So I recommend not letting this concealer sit because it does dry really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that out. And I just like to stamp to ensure that I don't move too much of the pigment around. If you go in like swiping, then you're going to lose a lot of the coverage. And then just to ensure that everything lasts, I do like to go in with just a touch of powder. I have very dry skin. Powder is usually not my friend, but you have to find the right one. And if you struggle finding a good powder, I recommend this one. This is the LYS Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. This is a miracle powder. It literally looks like nothing on your skin and it sets your makeup. It's so beautiful. It's literally the best powder I've ever tried. So I'm just going to take a really small fluffy brush, use that to set the under eye area. Again, if you have more oily skin, girl, go in with a lot more powder or more mattifying powder. Whatever works for you, chickadee, you do that. But I find that less is more for me personally, especially since I have very dry skin. I'm going to really ensure that I set those blemishes just so they don't come peeking through. Then I'm going to take a really fluffy brush and just tap in to lightly set the rest of my face just so I don't lose any coverage throughout the day. Okay, as I said before, I usually skip highlight and bronzer. I just feel like if I have to pick one face complexion product, it's usually going to be blush, just because it really livens up the cheeks and makes you look more youthful. If you really need or love bronzer, definitely go in with bronzer instead of blush. Again, just pick and choose what you need. I personally just love blush, so that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to take this Milani face palette today and just go in with these two blushes. One is matte and one is a little bit more glowy. So because I'm not using highlighter, I'm going to mix just so that I can get a little bit of glow to the cheeks, and it's kind of like a 2-in-1 product. And I just start on the apples of my cheeks and work back where I would apply bronzer and highlight, just so I don't have like a circle of blush and then nothing. I want everything to look really natural and diffused. Okay, and then just to add a little bit of definition to the eyes, I'll take that same blush and just pop that in my crease. And I focus most of the color out on the outer corner. I like to add a little bit of mascara just because I don't have a whole lot going on in the eyes, so I feel like this helps to kind of define them a little bit more and make me look a little bit more awake. Honestly, the type of mascara doesn't really matter. If you like something more volumizing, go in with a more volumizing mascara. If you like something more natural, more lengthening, go in with something like that. I just like to put a little bit of color on my lashes. I'm not too concerned with really building up the volume. Okay, lips are super important to me. I feel like without a lip color, the look just isn't complete. I feel like I look a little bit more dead. So having color to my lips is one of my favorite things. And if I'm going to put on a lip color, it's usually going to be something that's either long lasting so I don't have to worry about it, or something super comfortable like a gloss. Today I'm going for the long lasting option just because I've been loving this product. The lip liner is one of the most long lasting lip liners you can ever get, and is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. This lasts all day long. It's a beautiful, perfect nude, and I love to pair it with the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink. This is a liquid lipstick, but it has a little bit more of a, not glossy finish, but not super matte. It's kind of a natural sheen. I love to just kind of apply a very, very thin sort of wash or tint to my lips, so I'm not getting full on opacity, but it's enough to tint my lips and give me a little bit of life. And that product lasts all day long. It is amazing, and it doesn't dry out your lips. The other Maybelline liquid lipsticks are really nice and very pigmented, but they really dry out my lips and look kind of cracky and crumbly after a couple hours. This one does not. It's like witchcraft. It's amazing. I don't know what it is, but I love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. Again, if you have very big, pigmented, juicy, plump lips, maybe you just need a clear gloss and you're good to go, but I have very small, not very pigmented lips, so again, whatever you need personally, that's what you should do. Okay, then I'll just take a little bit of this product and I will apply it and then blend it out with my finger. This color in particular is so perfect for every day. It's 35 Cheeky. I'm gonna go ahead and set my brows just because, again, I don't have a lot of brow hair, so I really want to make sure that shape stays intact all day. I'm gonna go with my 24-hour Benefit brow setter. Sometimes I'll go with a tinted brow gel, but just for today, I'm gonna use a clear. The more I have going on in my eyes, the more pigment or like definition I would add to my brows, if that makes sense. Because it's a very natural look and I don't have a lot going on in my eyes, I feel like I can get away with a more naturally sparse brow. If I were to have like a huge, smoky, deep, beautiful, sultry cut crease or something, I would probably go in with a tinted brow gel just to help, you know, balance it out. Obviously, I'm not wearing a cut crease to work, but you know what I mean. If you do want to add a little bit of eyeliner or something a little bit smoky, which sometimes I do, then I would suggest adding a little bit more color and definition to the brows just to balance everything out. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to go with a inner corner highlight. I feel like it just makes me look more awake and ready for the day. So I'm just going to take that highlighter from the Milani palette. Alright guys, so that completes this look. This is my quick, everyday, 10-minute natural go-to work makeup. It's perfect for the office, perfect for school, perfect for busy moms, whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I really feel like makeup is so customizable. I think it's really important to know yourself, know what you like, know your own features and how to enhance them. You can just go in with minimal product and really target the areas that need to be targeted, and I feel like you come up with a really great look. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you back, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.